When I look at you, I don't see your mistakes.
Maybe that's the real punk rock.
You die, I die.
You got life! Cowhide. Synthetic cowhide.
He's flying.
Scooby-Doo-Doo. Are you watching closely?
Not way back when, I don't know.
Way back when.
Like I said last time, my microphone was way over here just because I started doing it in and out whenever I needed it. And then I would forget it over there. That's why the last couple episodes I've done that. And now I put it up here, which is technically like the same amount of distance, but I used to always have it up here. So I don't know. I don't know how much of that our stream caught, but welcome everybody. Let me ping everybody.
I'm tired.
You're tired? What?
Yeah.
You okay?
I just lost an hour of sleep last night.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of nice for us because Anya has been waking up early at like 6:30. And so jumping ahead, what she thought was what her internal clock thought was 6:30 was actually 7:30. And so now hopefully she'll sleep until 7 like she's supposed to because her body thinks, I don't know. I'm just hoping for some consistency there. So
yeah. Closing at my place of work also took until like 11:30 last night.
Oh gosh.
And with daylight savings, that's pretty much 12:30. So
yeah. Yep.
Fun times.
Yeah, some people, well, first off, daylight savings should be abolished completely. Just nobody needs it anymore. Second,
I agree.
Second, some people have like the idea is to like set your clocks ahead at like 7 or so the night before, so that you're like, oh, it's 8 o'clock. I should go to bed so I get 8 hours of sleep or whatever. So, yeah.
Who uses real alarm clocks anymore, though?
That's true. My watch and phone updated automatically. I only have to change my car and microwave. So, got off an 18-hour shift yesterday. Jeez, man. I do not feel for you. I'm sorry.
Said hi, Hondor. Is he already in the chat?
He is already here. It says notifications
of course
worked already. That's good. All right. So today, I actually don't have notes. I thought I did.
I don't have notes either.
I thought I had put this on, and for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been collecting notes of topics I would want to talk about. Sometimes they're just one line when I'm watching a movie. Sometimes they're much bigger. But I thought that I had written down something about Stranger Things, and I really hadn't. So anyway, we're talking about Stranger Things today. I think it's funny. We're going to start off with Zach binging seasons 1 through 4 in the coming month or two before season 5 dropped. And I just thought it was really funny seeing him I'm like, dude, you have 5 days. And he's like, yeah, I got it. And he did. He finished
5 days?
The night before. Didn't you finish the night before?
I mean, well, the funny thing is, it's like, it was like the Friday after Thanksgiving. I was gonna start Andor.
Oh.
I don't know if I told you that part or not.
No.
But then Disney Plus on the TV in our living room was like logged out, and it had that whole the whole not the household message thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to put in the effort to grab my laptop to hook it up to the TV and do all that. So it's like I decided I'm gonna go on Netflix and start Stranger Things. And then from that Friday after Thanksgiving, so Black Friday until to Christmas Day, when those episodes came up, I was caught up by then. So.
Yeah, that's hilarious. And crazy dedication to actually be like, yeah, I want to do this before so that you can experience the hype. episode 5 or season 5, but you didn't. What did you know about any of it? You know, like what was your knowledge? Like I know about a lot of stuff, and so when I finally get to it, it's sometimes a spoiler. But
I knew it was like widely popular. I probably knew like 4 characters' names
yeah,
before watching it.
yeah.
And I was probably like
So really nothing, close to nothing.
11. Steve, Hopper, and Eddie were probably the only 4 characters that I knew the names of before watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides
That's
that,
funny.
barely nothing.
Well, I don't know when I watched the first one. I don't know when I watched the first season, but it was just something that I knew consistently. I think I watched season 3 soon after it came out, and then season 4 was actually binged at my camp right before staff training started, and they took our phones away so we wouldn't be distracted. And so that was the same either day or week it had come out, and so I was like, I'm watching all of these tonight. And I did, but that was summer 2022. So Ihondor, no, Zach was lagging for me too. It might be his internet. He said he's using his phone today. I don't know if that's translating to Riverside or not.
If what?
Or Riverside YouTube and all that. Ihondor says he's lagging, but I think it might just be you. Because you were lagging for me.
Am I lagging?
And you're really behind. Your reactions are really you're really behind in reaction to it.
Weird.
Just it's not a bad thing. Just sorry. Okay. So I think we've talked about this. How would you rank all the seasons, especially because you saw them within 2 months of itself? Like you started in around Thanksgiving, season 1, and then you finished season 5 on New Year's Eve with everybody else.
I would go 3, 4, 1, 2, 5. I think would be my ranking.
I think I agree. I think I would do. I gotta 3 with okay. I think I said 4, 1, 3.
I think you said 4. Yeah.
I think I said 4, 1, 3, 2, 5. I really like 4. But 1 for nostalgia. Now maybe I do 4, 3, 1, 2, 5. But regardless, people really did not like season 5, and that's really what we're going to talk about. I thought I had put Stranger Things on the list at some point, but we obviously haven't gotten to it. There's a lot to talk about with the whole base of Stranger Things and like what inspired it. It was going to be, I believe it's called an anthology series, where each season was going to be something different, or each episode. That's like Love, Death, and Robots, I believe, is an anthology series. Let me double check. Anthology series. Yeah, I think that counts as like Twilight Zone is technically an anthology series, but yes.
Yeah.
But they were gonna do like this season 1 of Stranger Things is MK Ultra, especially if you're in the blurry creatures and ninjas are butterflies space like we are. They bring that up a lot as kind of everyone needs to kind of accept that was a real thing, at least that people were trying to do it, and the results are maybe what's debated, but it actually happened. Anyways, it's a genius idea to create a show that is like, what if MK Ultra succeeded, and what if a kid who was experimented on got out, or whatever. I think that's genius, and then people fell in love with characters and they continued the actual story. And I wasn't a fan in season 2, like when it was coming out, and I feel like that would have been like, this didn't really work. And then season 3 brought it all the way back up, with Billy and the meat monster, I believe, or the Flayed, I guess, and the bright colors of that year, whatever they were showing it in. Season 4 was like, okay, we're really ramping up. Like, And then season 5 was like, gonna drive listening, just not typing. We gotcha.
What?
Nothing. I was reading Alejandro's chat.
I think for me, why I love season 3 so much, it kind of just feels like the season where they've like really got to just go with it, if you know what I mean. Like the first 2 seasons kind of feel like setup, or like your first act, I guess. Seasons 4 and 5 are kind of like the third act, and season 2 or season 3 was just kind of like the second act of like fun and games and all that, where they just kind of got to do what they want and went for it. And I just kind of like love how everything like centers around the mall. I thought that was a great like storyline, and the Russians made it fun, and there's a lot of like deep stuff too in there with Billy, and then with Hopper's sacrifice at the end and all that. Yeah.
But yeah, all that is true.
Season with the least amount of will.
Sorry, I missed which number. 3?
Season 3.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like that's when he's least involved, which
I think
take that as you will.
Linchpin. They made him the linchpin so much, and then they, or in some ways, they wrote him to be the linchpin to everything, which is true. It was him who started it with the whole, he's in the shed, and the Demogorgon, and all that in season 1.
Yeah.
But then he's just really a nothing burger for most of it, and just a sad boy. Not most of it. Like he played a big part in season 2. He does the neck itch every once in a while, and then obviously becomes a sorcerer, as the episode is called. Maybe they argue like, he's not a sorcerer, he's a warlock or wizard or whatever. But yeah, he's special then.
This might be a hot take, but
we love hot takes.
Like Mike, Will, and 11 are kind of all like the 3 central characters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They're also like the least interesting characters.
Yeah.
I think Dustin, Steve, Nancy, what's his name? Why am I blanking on his name? Max. What's Max's boyfriend's name?
Billy.
No.
Oh, boyfriend? Lucas. I thought you said brother.
Lucas, that's his name.
Yeah.
All of them are they have far more personality and are far more interesting characters than Mike, Will, and 11 are.
Yeah. I think each of them has their moments. Lucas kind of takes a backseat sometimes and really plays the role of Max's boyfriend a lot of the time, especially
in season
2 seasons.
Yeah.
The more you look at it from a bird's eye view, a lot of it is kind of messy. Mm-hmm. It's better when you watch it in the moment, and the greater story is less inspiring, I guess. Mm. So season 5 rolls around. They're doing the thing where it's like one last time and whatever. We won't get there yet. Sorry, I pulled out my switchblade, plastic switchblade.
Well, we just got demonetized.
I said the SB word. No, I think I've showed it. It's just 3D printed. It's really cool mechanism. But I opted for the knife version instead of the comb version. Okay. Anyways, season 1 started. We got 3 or 4 episodes. I don't remember exactly. And
I think it was 4.
They were pretty good. They were fun. And we got the reveal at the end that Will was more deeply connected with Vecna than we realized, or at least he tapped into it. The Demogorgon scene was cool at the very end, and we were on a pretty big peak. And I think that episode 4, if that's the one, the sorcerer, was probably the best it got. Because when volume 2 dropped on Christmas Eve, we were like, or was it Christmas Day? It might have been Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. Yeah.
And we were like, first off, you left us off with the coming out scene, which people said, regardless, most of our listeners are going to know which way we lean on this, but
Yeah.
Even so, nobody really liked it. Nobody really understood why we were taking time to have the entire group of characters there for Will to do this, to show that that's what he needs in order to defeat Vecna. It doesn't make sense. That's such a token moment that is there to win some awards socially, and it didn't even do that because people are like, it's so awkward, regardless of what conversation they're talking about. And then the finale was New Year's Eve, and that was really rough. Felt very, very flat, very Marvelized, if you will. And just kind of was like, left everybody wanting. Hence, Conformity gained. I believe I come up with the title for these episodes on like the Monday before, I post Sunday's live stream, and then I come up with the next week's topic and whatever. So currently the episode is called "I Still Believe in Conformity Gate," because I kind of do. I'm gonna admit it. I kind of do. I want to give a lot of credit to the Duffer Brothers.
Nothing's coming.
I know nothing's coming. I even said in the Discord, I want to believe that it was an Inception style ending that is meant to keep people talking. Maybe there's never going to be a true answer. I just realized my shirt looks purple.
You sure it's not purple?
It's not purple. It's blue. It's supposed to be water made new. It's our church's baptism shirt, but it must be catching just a certain tone of my green screen. I mean, my real room, obviously. Yeah. So I think I love the internet when we all come together and start coming up with these explanations, because it's so fun to just theorize when things like that happen. I feel like when it came to Inception, it was like, it was either yes or no. It was like, did the top fall over or did it not? And I don't know what the internet was like back then when it released, but that was the water cooler conversation. When you saw the movie over the weekend, you're like, it's a big topic. And I think we talked about it in our episode about it. And that could have been what they meant for Stranger Things, but it's hard to understand how so much chaos coming from, whether it was the Duffer Brothers being incompetent, the divorce that one of them, like if his ex-wife was the true genius behind the stories, and because she was gone, that the whole story fell apart. Everything seemed to line up so perfectly. And that's the part I still can't wrap my head around, because even in their own documentary, they put things in there after Conformity Gate had been going on for like a week or two that were like, they said, we can't just forget about the Demodogs and Demogorgons in the abyss, right? No, that'd be ridiculous. And then they cut away to a completely different topic and never address that again. It's like the editors put that in there for why? Somebody suggested that the documentary was edited by a different crew, and they were on the side of at least the internet and Conformity Gate with like, we agree this is stupid, so let's make them look bad. Like it could have been some sort of drama that way. That edit specifically doesn't make sense. Like, why would you include that to say this was a mistake, we shouldn't do this, and then they didn't do it and they didn't address it? It just seemed too perfect to be true. I was kind of thinking about that Stranger Things was going to be a more serious and dramatic version of Todd and the Book of Pure Evil. So technically my Conformity Gate started episode 1. I am not familiar with that. Todd and the Book of Pure Todd and... Are you familiar with that?
No.
Huh. Canadian dark horror comedy television show following a group of high school students who confront the effects of a demonic book. Interesting.
I guess for me, with season 5 and Conformity Gate and all that, it's like I didn't have to wait all that time between the season 4 finale and the beginning of season 5.
Yeah.
But it's still such a big letdown, for one thing, to have like the upside down like merging with the real world at the end of
Mhm.
season 4, and for the beginning of season 5 to just be like, well, we covered it up. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that was one of the
And
biggest
then
ones.
just kind of that the whole first 3 episodes just kind of felt almost kind of sitcom-y to me. Just kind of not a different vibe from like the rest of the show, a change in vibe. And I was just kind of like, this is okay, I guess. Nothing too
Yeah.
special. And then they kind of ended at a high, I would say, with that Will scene at the end of, I think it was probably actually episode 3, I think was the sorcerer. I think it might have been 3, 4, and 1 is how they spaced that out. But
I'm checking.
maybe it was 4. No, it was 4, 3, and 1.
Yep. Chapter 4 was the sorcerer. Shock Jock,
Okay.
Escape from Camazotz, and the Bridge was volume 2, and then the finale.
So it was funny. I actually watched binged the second volume with my siblings and my cousins, and yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
It's again, it's like there were all the little things that people noticed that didn't line up with the dial at the radio station, and like the things that didn't line up in Will's speech. And there was more like that too that just didn't add up and seemed intentional.
Yeah.
And it just, kept adding people's expectations for the finale, that we were going to see some big twist either with Will or just kind of with reality as we know it, seeing some big revelation that this has all been some illusion from Vecna. So then when the finale was just so simple and safe, and the scene of them defeating Vecna is shorter than Will's coming out scene, it's like very lame. And then we just had that extended epilogue where everyone just got their happy ending, and it's like I mean, it feels good in one sense, but also it's like with how heartbreaking the show has been, just how with the ongoing theme throughout the show of like, I guess, how to process and like almost give your pain purpose, it felt very hollow just to give all the characters their happy ending.
Yeah, it's like part of it is, do any of them deserve the happy ending after such a heartbreak? Like, it could have been so much.
Someone should have died.
Someone should have died. Sorry, I'm just realizing that I think our cameras switch back and forth whenever we're talking, and I didn't like that last time, and I don't know how to change that, but I really didn't want that when I saw it. Our current speaker or whatever. Maybe that's not a now problem.
Is my face in screen on the YouTube video, on the YouTube live?
Well, I see you
in the first one. In the first one, it was just like half my face the whole time.
Yeah,
and I didn't notice that until way later.
Yeah, I don't know why that one was. There was 3 of us for that one, but yeah. Anyways, what I was comparing it to in my head was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom into Jurassic World Dominion. And if you haven't seen that, I don't know how to just. I will describe it. Fallen Kingdom ends with all of the dinosaurs running around the earth. Like they're gonna. The key shot in the end of that movie was like a lion across a gorge from a dinosaur, and they're roaring because like the lion was the king of the jungle or desert, whatever. And then the dinosaur is like, I'm the new sheriff in town or whatever. Like, that's a cool shot. That's a cool setup. And then Dominion is just like a fart in the wind. It didn't go with that theme, at least.
No.
It still had that concept, but it didn't go with the theme of what if dinosaurs were out in nature again. And so that them just putting plates on top of the fissures in the earth just seemed so wrong. And then in the end of, I think it was the finale, Elle was struggling to lift one of the plates up, which should seem within her powers. And then they go through. And apparently that was the first time that that Mike had been in the Upside Down and nobody commented about it. That was a weird thing. But you had mentioned the dial, and this is why I still somewhat believe in Conformity Gate. Almost everything else, well, I'll get to that, to the bigger idea in a sec. The dial is a literal piece of the set. It's focused on specifically, like, look, we are turning the dial. Pay attention for 2 seconds to this shot. And then it changes color. That's not like a set or a piece of clothing can change. Oh man, I'm kissing the air apparently.
Oh yeah, you are.
They messed up my rant. The camera messed up my rant. I blame Canon. There we go.
Welcome back to the When I Film podcast.
I understand something like a piece of clothing changing or a prop changing. That is on the set, wherever it is, whether it's on a green screen, in a studio, on location. That's a part of the set that does not need to be changed for anything else. And so the fact that it's just so perfect to be like, this is a different memory or something. It makes sense that Conformity Gate was real. Yeah. In my mind. Oh, my camera's messed up. And so that on top of the Duffers saying pay attention to the details, and they themselves not paying attention to the details is funny enough. But the Duffers saying pay attention to the details, we did, and then nothing happened. On top of all of that, Vecna's whole thing, the thing that makes him special from Darth Vader, from Sauron, all of the different big bads of history and cinema, is that he makes false memories. And it just works so perfectly that Conformity Gate made so much sense. Every theory was like, what if this, what if this, what if this? And it all made sense because it seemed like it was on purpose. And it wasn't. It was all a flub that they didn't know what they were doing with season 5. And that's why it was so disappointing. It would make sense, like, if there were rumors that they were recasting, or not recasting, that they were filming something else for like a Super Bowl trailer maybe. And maybe they are. Maybe they will release like a movie that's the true ending. Maybe it is supposed to be an Inception style ending. I know it's probably just them being dumb writers and dumb directors. Yeah. But it makes so much sense. And I don't know how to justify that. I love the idea that it's all connected and that Vecna would be like, that they're in Vecna's mind world. And like, I don't know, Steve being a baseball coach when he never played baseball. He played basketball. And why would he be a baseball coach is because Vecna only saw him with a baseball bat. That kind of makes more sense than just saying, oh yeah, he went and, I don't know, coach baseball. It's like they didn't watch any of their own show. I could go on. I could just recap all of the things that I shared in the Discord and leaks and theories. But golly, I was really coping when Zach and I were watching a movie that night that the 9th episode was supposed to release, and I was like, didn't happen. We would have watched the new secret episode instead of Silence, which I probably still would have skipped in my opinion. But
what?
I didn't love it.
You didn't like Silence?
I thought I told you that.
No.
It was so slow. I understand that
it was very slow.
Scorsese being Martin Scorsese.
Yeah. I
like the theme and the concept of never giving up on your faith, but I didn't love it. I wouldn't watch it again.
Okay.
That's not what we're talking about.
Anyway,
sometime down the line with a new cast, there might actually be a Conformity remake. That would be fun. I think, especially with, I think Ellie's tapping something in the kitchen. I don't know what it is. There's behind the scenes in that documentary where they're like, I think they were trying to understand something, and they were just like, okay, I don't know, frick, I need to know her name, or Natalia Dyer. She was trying to understand something. I think it was the first time they saw like the abyss drawing, like how the abyss and the upside down worked. And she was like, okay. And then Millie Bobby Brown during the table read, she didn't seem happy at all. It's like these behind the scenes videos were coming out and none of them were really happy with it. And I think everyone but the Duffers was upset. And I don't know what they thought. And I don't know if they've come up from underground. Or they never really, I mean, they're doing Stranger Things Tales from 85. They're doing The Burrows, and something very bad is going to happen as executive producers. But I think Drinker, who has hit or miss takes, said this is the end of the Duffer Brothers. Like, no one's going to be like, oh, the Duffer Brothers, they made this. Whatever future project comes next, it's going to be like, oh. So, sorry, I've ranted.
I think the most likely situation is that the ex-wife was the true genius.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I think so too. It makes the most sense. Shout out to all the women out there. You know, I think it's International Women's Day or something. Forgot to.
Or something.
Let me double check that. March 8th. There you go. It is International Women's Day.
Let's go, women.
let's go, women. I'm gonna move. I'm not gonna make any more jokes. I just saw a meme that said it was like a husband and a wife driving in a car, and he looks at her and he's like, I swear they're not this misogynistic or racist when I listen to them. Or they're much more funny and not as misogynistic or racist when I listen to them. That's how I feel when I'm like, Ellie, let's listen to this podcast of mine. And she's like, no. I'm like, all right. I get it. Okay. I did want to talk, we can come back to season 5 in a sec, but one thing while we're here, there is an awesome book by Dr. Michael Heiser, who has since passed and is kind of the inspiration for things like Blurry Creatures and Ninjas Are Butterflies and the Confessionals. This in between for the Christian space, churches, and the paranormal, and understanding how those go together. And as more things come out about the paranormal, whether it's UFO disclosure, like that, I'm not going to get into that. Christians need to understand that you need to know what to do with this. It's not you need to understand that aliens are real or whatever. You need to understand that these things are happening in the government, UFO disclosure, and you need to make sense of it somehow. And I believe Michael Heiser set the groundwork for a lot of this, at least to understand that there's more going on than humans, angels, demons, God. A lot of Christians think that. And it goes way deeper than that. How deep you want to go is up to you. But there's my little spiel. He wrote a book called, I think, freaking, gosh.
The Unseen Realm? Or are you talking about a different book?
No. The World Turned Upside Down, Finding the Gospel in Stranger Things.
The world turned upside down.
I don't know the song.
It's Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. Ellie was singing Hamilton to Anya the other night. It was so cute. But
Yeah, he sent me a video.
I don't know it well enough. I basically know the top 3 songs. I've never watched the whole thing. Anyways.
What?
Yeah, sorry. Does this mean we can watch Supernatural without feeling guilty? I think you can watch most anything without feeling guilty.
That's a personal convictions.
True. You're saying to that. I'm saying you're not talking to me. I believe it's up to personal convictions, but I don't think you should. First off, I'm not an authority. Second, you shouldn't. Well, if you don't feel guilty, you don't feel guilty. But should you feel guilty is a personal perspective. I feel like I would feel guilty watching a number of deeply sexual things, movies specifically, obviously, whatever. But movies with a lot of that in it, choosing to do that, or I still am not too huge on supernatural horror, even though I'm big into the supernatural lore. I don't like seeing heads turn around and vomit all over priests. That's not my cup of tea. Anyways, the world turned upside down.
We have another
Finding the
episode
Gospel of
about
Strange Things. How to do horror.
Or how to take in content as a Christian.
Yeah. That was one of our, I think, are you talking about our live episode?
Yeah, our live episode.
Live episode.
Live.
Anyways, Michael Heiser, the world turns upside down. He does exactly what we're doing now. He's not saying that Stranger Things, and he only talks about seasons 1 and 2 just because that's all he saw before he passed or before he wrote the book. He doesn't take everything as analogous and just say, this means this, this means this, this means this. This is not Chronicles of Narnia. He's not making that point. He's saying that there are aspects of the story that not only relate to the Christian worldview, but also in some cases are taken directly from the Christian worldview. Say a monster out to get you. Maybe it's not a literal monster like a Demogorgon, but it's a very analogous story, I think, especially when you take bits and pieces instead of the whole thing. So part of it is, yes, this was inspired by MK Ultra and the rumors about that, and maybe some real things that happened that are unconfirmed. The other part of it is that it can be a very spiritual experience to watch Stranger Things and to dissect what each character is doing and why they do that and why it happens and whatever. He does that in the book. It is free on Spotify Premium because for people who own it. For people who, like, if you have a family plan, I run the family plan for my, like, Ellie and my brother and my mom. They can't listen to the audiobooks for free, but I can. So there's that caveat. You get a number of audiobooks for free. It's really great. But that's on there. All of his books are actually. But I would highly recommend. It is, it doesn't tell me anymore because it started, it's only 3 hours and 40 minutes. So long car ride or a there and back car ride, moderately far. I would encourage anyone to listen to it because, especially if you're a fan of Stranger Things, it dives into that. And he obviously wasn't scared by the horror aspect of it. It's a pretty moderate show, all things considered. But he didn't let that refrain from making commentary on it like that. How to horror as a Christian, how would horror as a Christian, I'm just gonna read it. How to horror as a Christian would go hard. Merely because it can be a catalyst for delving into the spiritual realm, whether you believe it or not, either not taking it seriously or not arming yourself. Yeah. We could probably do another episode on horror just because Deacon has a lot of good thoughts on it. And combine that with, like, should we even watch horror? But it's one of those that you could just sit with a bunch of guys and talk for a long time, I think. And we have, and we should. But also, Stranger Things is hardly horror. I think season 3 is probably the worst. If you get grossed out by
season 4 is probably the worst.
4 is the worst?
With Vecna and
oh, yeah, but that happens like
4.
that happens 3 times. I'm thinking about the flayed melting into each other. That sometimes. Yeah. But the final monster, once they stop bleeding into each other, is pretty cool. Until you think about how it's a bunch of humans. Anyways, I watched Iron Lung. It was fine.
Iron Lung wasn't even that bad, but
it wasn't until the end.
In terms of, even that wasn't awful.
No,
his arm came off, but
spoilers.
Yep.
I think it's out of theaters now, so until it comes out on streaming, you can't watch it, which is unfortunate, but it'll be soon. I'm probably gonna buy the disc and we're gonna have a movie night.
Yeah.
You really want OAFP movie nights to happen. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm saying I will have a movie night for my friends.
Okay.
If you're listening to this, here's a question now. We've teased at it in previous episodes. Would you join a OAFP movie night in Discord or something where we watch a movie together? I would know I would love it. I just don't know that I have the time to facilitate it. Maybe Zach could be like, hey guys, I'm gonna watch a movie. I'm gonna screen share with you. Come watch with me. Maybe you can do that.
Come watch Hoodwinked with me.
That one
Wait, what was your
definitely-
question for me relating to the episode?
I don't know. I think I was just letting you talk because I had yapped for too long.
Oh, okay.
Any
Hi,
other
I'm
rants
talking.
or reflections?
Is there any character arcs or anything that you wanted to touch on?
I mean, it's so hard to not be like, this doesn't make sense. I think Dustin and Steve's relationship was one of the better ones that grew. And especially I saw a lot of edits before the most of season 5 came out, and they're just so fun together, especially when Gaten was young and he was a little kid and goofing around with a much older Joe Keery. But they've always been fun, and then having them get at each other's throats this season 5 was really heartwarming. I think it's still stupid that heartbreaking, but they made up in the end.
Yeah, heartwarming.
It's in our intro actually.
Yeah.
And the only thing I keep coming back to the failure of season 5 and how Dustin got more beat up from encounter with his bullies than Steve, was like, what'd you do, dude? To then he ever got any injuries from the mind flayer in the abyss or whatever. Stupid. Anyways, they were really sweet, I think. And I know using sweet to describe two guys is weird, but they literally
it was sweet.
Off saying, if you die, I die. And that's brotherhood. It's friendship.
I think it's definitely interesting, like especially comparing like his relationship with Dustin's relationship with Steve versus his relationship with Eddie, especially like in like the earlier, or like in seasons like 2 and 3 especially, like Steve was kind of showing Dustin like how to be cool, but yet his relationship with Eddie was Eddie showing him that it's okay to not be cool, in a sense.
Sure.
And just kind of like Eddie's whole thing was kind of like to let your freak flag fly. So and just kind of like accepting yourself in that sense. So it makes sense then that Dustin connected with Eddie so much like that, just with him being so different from your common high schooler, I guess. But was interesting to, seeing Steve's brotherhood develop with him kind of around that too. And just, despite kind of that relationship there, Steve and him had been a thing for like way longer. And I guess Dustin, kind of like lost sight of that just kind of because of his friendship with Eddie. So it's interesting how that kind of, how they explored that in season 5 with Eddie being gone at the end of season 4. I think that was probably the best thing that they did in season 5 was just their relationship, just kind of exploring that with like the, their fight in the Upside Down, and then the stairway scene, and then the you die, I die later. I think they really developed a very meaningful friendship between the two characters that like no one saw coming. It just from season 1.
Yeah. I think you had a good point with them being like, why, or not why. If Steve felt so connected to Dustin, and Steve slowly realized being cool isn't all there is. But he was, I think he felt in season 4 a little bit, he felt a little disconnected from Dustin because he was like, dude, you spent like a week with Eddie. And then when he was so torn up about Eddie's death, and at the beginning of season 5, Steve was like, dude, I'm missing out on our friendship because you're too busy moping, which I feel like I think it was quite a while since between seasons in their world. But yeah, I think that could have been maybe a little deeper, but you could also feel it still. Just being like, why was I not enough? Was I, kind of the regular relationship drama. The relationship angles of Stranger Things definitely seemed to get dumbed down this last season than the more complex implications from before, I think. Dumbed down or simplified, I guess, somewhat fitting due to the season end. I don't think that's a good reason to just say it's a season end so they can half-heart the relationships. I agree that they were much more compelling in the previous 4 seasons, especially season 1. But you can't just say screw relationships just because the season's ending. Like they could ramp up, in fact. But.
I mean, I put like that stairway scene on the same level as like Matt and Frank's first scene in Daredevil Born Again, where it's just like kind of like a peak scene in a less than peak season of television.
Yeah, that's funny. I need to find. Did you have any relationships that stood out, or drama, or whatever you had? What was your question?
I don't know if I had a question for you. I wanted to talk more about Steve though, because Steve was such a surprise character in a lot of ways. He wasn't even able to live past season 1. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that. That's.
Yeah, he was supposed to die like end of season 1. But then, and I think even I just saw something that, at the end of season 1 when he like runs back into the house with the baseball bat to fight the Demogorgon.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like Ted Wheeler coming back in. Or coming in instead of Steve coming back in. So, but I think that was one of the things that Joe Keery talked with the Duffer Brothers about changing to kind of like lead into a redemption arc for him, like we saw. And they did some really cool things with his characters as this season progressed. I mean, and I think, as we said, his relationship with Dustin was a big part of that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I knew he was a fan favorite character before I started the show, but like watching season 1, I'm like, why is he such a popular character? He's just a jerk. But after season 1 is when you get to see like the true Steve and the Steve that everyone loves. And
yeah. I really want to find. Is it the SNL? Maybe it's not. Where it's like volume 6 on Dustin Day, volume 6-7 on. It's such a funny bit, and now I'm not gonna be able to find it in time. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know how to look for it, but
what else is there to talk about?
I don't know. It just ended meh. Everybody getting a happy ending. It's freaking okay. I really wanted Ted. I really wanted Ted to do more. And the fact that he just got thrown into a wall by a Demogorgon and never seen until the finale when Dustin's giving a speech is so stupid. And I understand that he was supposed to be a deadbeat dad who's just like, what did I do? It was played for comedic effect, but I didn't really like that they just did nothing with him. 11. she or Millie Bobby Brown succumbed to the I don't know what to call it, modern tough female lead who just thinks that coolness is stoicism. And so just everything she's just like, and then a little bit of because she got the filler. But it's just she wasn't compelling anymore, and everything they wrote was so narrow, and so she was saying dramatic things, and I didn't feel anything. So they wrote a lot of things I felt like, oh, this is such a big deal, and this is such a deep thing for the character. Every moment felt like a deep thing for that character, and in the second as you're watching it, and then you back up and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. On top of that, the Netflix dialogue that we're calling it now, where they re-explain everything, and then they explain it with metaphors and objects, and saying, now this is Zach, this is Seth, this is Joshua. It's just like,
and this is William. And
this is a nut. Sorry, I can't do that. I can't. Nobody cares. Yeah, it's so. It just hurts when they're doing that, and you think about just the much better writing. I think I watched something really deep and meaningful right after that, just to have a palate cleanse of good writing, because it felt so flat, and it's flatter than flat.
Yeah,
it sucked. It was not enjoyable watch. So I'm just looking through the cast list. The Turnbows, who are still tied up in their barn for some reason.
Oh yeah.
There's just
Derek was a fun addition. I will say that.
He was. I think they Vecna gathering 12 kids for no reason. They asked the Duffer Brothers, what is the significance for Vecna gathering 12 children? And they said, we don't know. We made it up. Even if, you can make things up like that for your story. And we talked with Deacon 2 to 3 weeks ago about story writing. And you shouldn't, especially when it comes to world building, you can make stuff up, but then make a reason for it. Write it in somewhere else to be like, yeah, that's why. That's why I wrote that way. And they could have said anything. They could have said, because he's connected to the clock and the clock has 12 numbers on it. That could have made more sense than we made it up and no further explanation. They just don't. I'm really onto the I don't know what it's called, the wife gate or conformity wife, something like that. the thing where, it was his ex who was the heart behind the story. So, and then things like things like Linda Hamilton coming on felt empty, and she didn't do anything. She was just a tough face to look at.
Yeah, I mean, the whole military was such a non-threat in the final season.
Yeah, and I mean, she played freaking Sarah Connor, and that's why they got her, is just because she's tough and military. She's that character.
They got her out of retirement.
Oh, was that the deal?
Yeah, I think that's what I heard. I might be wrong.
She was in something in 2025, Osiris.
Oh.
Never heard of that. Oh, Dark Fate came out in 2019, but that's almost that's a while ago now. And then she's still in Dark Winds, which I haven't heard of. The Solar Opposites. So she's been in a few things, but not a lot.
Oh.
Maybe not retirement, but she's obviously on the short end of acting.
Oh, she was on the verge of retirement before Stranger Things season 5.
Okay,
that's
I have a conformity wife. The theory that one day I may find one. I'm sorry, that's not that funny, but he wrote it to be funny.
Also, like, with just another criticism of season 5, while we're at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no issue with Holly as a character, but
sure,
giving her as much screen time as she had in the final season, was too much. It just
Also,
took away from like the main characters that were there.
Yeah, and people like me who didn't know anything about Wrinkle in Time were very lost.
I didn't know much about Wrinkle in Time either, but
yeah. And they did I didn't even realize they did the Rise of Skywalker thing where they hold the thing up right at the distance that they need to in the exact spot. Granted, the desert was kind of in this direction, and by the time you got out to that point, you could probably see that it's the same shape, but it's a little more
I mean,
but
it wasn't Vecna's mind too, so it was in kind of like a dream world anyway. So
yeah. Do you have anything else? I actually wanted to get to something else, some news before we were done, but
we have news.
Not we have news.
Oh,
I saw this while scrolling today, and we haven't done a lot of news. Like we would do like what have you been watching? In the last couple weeks, which I think next week we should be doing next week is Les Mis with William, and then I think we'll do a roundtable after that. Where we can just talk about whatever. But this was released by Adventures in Odyssey. Adventures in Odyssey is making a movie.
I'm about to vomit.
Oh, here we go. Here's the trailer.
I have been looking for this energy source my whole life.
Welcome to the future, Wit.
You are every bit as strong, as brave, as courageous as your brother. We'll get through this.
We should have stayed in Chicago, Dad. I understand how you feel, Jason. But Odyssey's a great town. We'll get a fresh start here.
Sorry, but hey, nice move.
Crazy driver.
Why'd you move to Odyssey, Mrs. Whitaker?
I've always enjoyed taking old things and making them new.
This must be the Fillmore Recreation Center.
Aloys Torsney.
If Torsney's lab is in Odyssey, then this is about something much bigger than anybody knows.
It's a leap of faith. Good thing we're both men of faith. What in the world?
You're on an adventure. Oh, does it involve pirates or treasure or flying cars? I don't think so. Too bad. You're not our regular ice cream man.
We're new.
The intel you leaked about me leaving the NSA, they didn't buy it.
Your father's been living a lie. Find out how your father could have saved your brother's life, but didn't.
We'd still be a family. We're still a family. We need to find it before anyone else does.
Finish this quickly.
He seems like a normal kid to me.
If he's Whitaker's son, he's not normal.
Lord, we need your help. Carry us through this. And now.
Uh-oh.
Impossible. Hurry! Seek, and you shall find.
Tell me that big crash was you?
We took the elevator up.
I hate it. I don't like it.
It's
I know
a
it's
leap
a hard
of
left turn
faith.
in our episode.
Good thing we're men of faith. That animation looks like the old Barbie movies.
I know. Exactly. Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Why is Wit built like that? I have
Well, you
so
can say that
many.
about the new art style. Anyways, it's. I've been listening to the Adventures in Odyssey, and I feel like they've been taking a turn, a downward turn. They started using AI generated art for some of their album covers, and I'm not saying that that's directly related to a poor movie, but I feel like they had so much more potential. And they did the old TV show or the old cartoons that were actually really fun. I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to share that and get your reaction and maybe talk about it more in the Discord. Sorry for not staying on Stranger Things the whole time.
Animation for like Christian cartoons hasn't improved in like 2 decades.
I know. Oh, it could be so much more.
Like that.
We're gonna call it. Oh,
You know that Christian cartoon I was
yeah.
just telling you about?
Yeah.
The Gaither's Pond one.
Oh,
It's
gosh,
not
yeah.
much of a step up from that.
Not really. But
And
we have
it's
things
like-
like David now. David was really good. We can do it.
We can. I guess Focus on the Family just doesn't have the budget.
It's almost like the Megamind 2. That's fine, but you don't need a big budget. It feels like Megamind 2, the Doom Syndicate. I just watched some videos on that recently.
This is what they're theatrically
True,
releasing.
but that was live action, so
This is
exactly. It's not gonna make
so disappointing. Focus on the Family's about to go under because of this.
Hope not. They're good company.
They are a good company.
All right.
That's it. I'm good.
Gotta go. Thank you guys for listening or watching. Hunter says, thanks for streaming. And remember, it's just a theory, a conformity theory. There you go. Follow us on Discord. Share us here. Share this podcast. Whatever. Till next week, know that you're loved. God bless.
Thanks for watching, Mom.